Wednesday, February 25th, 07:33 a.m. New York time. Welcome back, investors, to Winning Wall Street's Money. Middle of the week. Last week of the month. Going to discuss currencies. Looking at 4 grids. Each grid represents 4 hours of a candle. 5 days. So again, 4 grids. 5-day history. Each candle is 4 hours. The current candle will be done at 09 a.m. New York time. Far left, US dollar index. Second from the left is the euro. Third from the left is the yen. And the last one on the far right is the British pound. The US dollar index, just like it sounds, is an index. The 3 largest weighted currencies in the US dollar. First is the euro. Second is the yen. Third is the pound. There are other currencies in the US dollar index, but the 3 major currencies that weigh the largest average, represent the largest percentage of the index, are those 3. Very important to be situation aware. They have better liquidity. You don't know what liquidity is? I discuss that often. History, it's in my content. That's less important than what I'm going to show you. Not necessarily less important, but I'm not going to spend much time on that on this video. I'm just going to show you factual currencies. Currencies, central banks of governments can lower and raise their yields, aka their interest rates. That has an impact on their own currency, the value of their currency, exports and imports. So when the US dollar declines in value against a nation's currency, we pay more for imports from that country, and they pay less for importing our products or services. Again, 4 charts, each chart, 5 days, each candle, 4 hours. So on the far left, the US dollar, for the past several days, after coming off this low, it's a massive consolidation. Second one from the left, the euro's in the reverse. The Japanese yen has made a new low for the 5-day period. And the British pound, similar to the dollar. That's just one period of time. I like to look at the bigger picture, to be more situation aware than just talking points. So first we'll go to the US dollar index. We're going to look at the weekly chart. 5 years of history, each candle's a week. The bottom left is the low, all the way back, 2021. The top, the high of 2022. Yep, so we're on a decline from the highs, 2022. And look at here, we're on a decline from the highs of 2025. And now, far left, we're on a decline from the 2026. You have natural retracements from the trends, like the high of 2025. And then here, we had a retracement, and then went lower. We had a retracement and went lower. So again, the US dollar is grinding down in value. Part of it, as I told you, share with you, is the effects of the central banks. In the United States, we have a stronger democracy than other countries. Not all countries have equal democracy. In the United States, we have an executive branch that selects the leadership for our central bank called the Federal Reserve. And then we have another body of government called the legislation. It's 2 bodies, the House and the Senate. The Senate votes on the leadership of the Federal Reserve. Again, there's several parts involved. It's not a limited power to one person. Or again, other nations may or may not be democracies, are weaker democracies, if you even want to call them a true democracy. But there's other ones that are republics also, that maybe are more. So again, this index just represents a handful of currencies against US dollar. I'm going to also show you currencies that are not part of the index. Not this index, at least. But this was, again, the weekly. We are currently an inside candle. We haven't taken out the high and low of last week yet. So look at this huge red candle. Impulse move down, extremely bearish US dollar. Midpoint, we haven't even tested that. We already have sellers stepping in before we even get up there. That big wick, bullish pin bar, midpoint hasn't fully been tested yet. Yep. A lot of chop, as some people say in here. I prefer to say consolidation, building energy for breakout one way or the other. Could be a fake breakout, could be a stop hunt. Let's take it to the lower time frame. Now we're on the daily time frame, a 1 year chart, US dollar, 1 year of history. Look at the decline. Consolidation, amount of time. Yep. And then we have this long consolidation of the US dollar from last year into this year. We had some retests. Again, we had a trend down, retest back up, which made the high of the year. Failure to continue going higher. Huge sell-off, the low of this year. Consolidation, retests, lots of rejections. So again, here's the high of the year. Here's the low of the year, US dollar. Look at the red candles. They are much more deeper trading range, larger trading range on the downside. First, the retracement has been weak. Consolidation, impulse move down, consolidation, retracement, consolidation, midpoint, that big green candle, reversal, consolidation. Looks more like consolidation with distribution. Wicks on the top and bottom, small little bodies. Might get another pump to the upside and then a hard sell-off again. It's not looking healthy. If you're not situation aware, you could trade in the financial markets, at least in the United States. Last time I recall, China changed the policy. You could only trade long, aka bullish. United States, you could trade either direction, bullish or bearish. Opportunities to profit in either direction. More freer markets than other ones people choose to participate in. So that's the current situation in the US dollar index. Let's go look at the larger picture to include other currencies. So we'll look at 9 currencies that are paired. Paired means when you're two currencies. So all these are paired against the US dollar individually, not the index. 5-year chart, each candle's a week. Currently looking at the currencies in the futures market. There are other exchanges too. We're going to see some currencies. So in the futures market, this specific future market, because there's more than one, we're looking at the CME. Currencies start with a / a 6 followed by the letter. So this is the euro. So again, in the futures exchange, on this exchange in the CME, when the currency is trending up, that means that currency is stronger. So this is the euro. So when it's trending up, it's stronger than the dollar. Again, this is the euro dollar. Bottom, the low of 2022. Here's there, the low of 2025, the low of 2026. The euro has been going up in value, making the US dollar weaker. More expenses for us to travel to Europe, to buy products and service from Europe. Well, you see these big, strong green candles. This red candle here, bearish pin bar, expect it, sell off, coming to that big green, strong green candle, reversal, nice. Another trend up, pullback in this midpoint, big red candle, consolidation, bearish pin bar, sell off into key level, demand zone, took off, impulse up here, bearish pin bar, expected retracement into midpoint. Wash and repeat, wash and repeat. So again, Big impulse move up, bullish engulfing candle, seller shut off, all levels are trapped. Midpoint, impulse move up, retest, buyer stepped in. Current week, inside candle. Yeah, that's a lot of technology, words, vocabulary you may not be familiar with. I discuss it often. Easy to learn if you go into the right source, which I'm discussing and sharing in my videos. Japanese yen. Again, 5-year chart weekly. Huge decline. Last year, the prior year, I'm going to zoom in. Yep, the high of 2024, the low of 2024. Huge consolidation, building a coil, building energy for a breakout. Here's the low of 2024. This was the low of 2025. We broke it here this year and made a strong reversal. For the current week, look at that. We already broke below that inside candle after that big, strong green candle up. Yep. So there's a lot of reversals here, but it's in a huge consolidation. Opportunities, if you're bullish, to be buying on the dip. All these currencies I'm showing you, you could trade in financial exchanges such as the futures, the options, the equity market. Opportunities if you don't have a broker with all those exchange access. The British pound. Yep, here's the low, 2022, low of 2023, low of 2025. Again, the pound is gaining strength against the US dollar. Okay, what would this mean? It means opportunities also if certain countries have higher yields, higher interest rates, that people have confidence to put their money, cash for fixed income in those nations' bonds as well too. Public or private sectors available. So here the current situation is, look at this, blue horizontal line. That was a bullish pin bar, reversal. The trend reverse went up, strong green candle here. Impulse move, bearish pin bar making the high this year, reversal, currently inside candle for the week. Australian dollar. This is one of the many nations that are heavily weighted towards commodities. The United States, very diversified from agricultural, commodities, technology, and other sectors, very diversified, where certain countries are much more heavily weighted towards certain industries. Australia, New Zealand, Canada represent a large percentage of commodities, energy, crude oil, natural gas, coal, metals, gold, silver, copper. So when certain commodities go up, that helps the value of their currency. Have you seen gold or silver recently? Copper? Just think about it. Those currencies I've been sharing. Sorry, those commodities have been going up, helping these countries value of the currency. So the Australian dollar, the low of 2025, getting C reversal since then. The low of this year, strong move up. We already broke the inside candle last week. Canadian dollar, neighbors to the north, key demand zone, green area. The low of last year, the low of this year. Consolidation, retracement. The Swiss franc, it's considered a safe haven currency, just like the Japanese yen and US dollar. Yeah, 5 years of history. Look at the bottom left, the low of 2022. And the Swiss franc has been going up in value against the US dollar for the past several years. Look at this year, a new high against the US dollar past 5 years. Again, there's more confidence in the Swiss franc, middle of Europe, north of Italy, east of France. More confidence in the US dollar than more confidence in the Swiss franc than US dollar. Because again, Swiss franc goes higher, weakness in the US dollar. These things are important to be situational awareness if you understand the basics of finance and economics. Inside candle for the week. Big impulse move up, midpoint. Setups. Looking for a single. Mexican peso, neighbors to the south. you're not situation aware, Canada and the United States are the two largest trading partners to the United States, not China. If I'm incorrect, well, correct me. Show me. Show me your sources, not some degenerate talk show host making comments that don't factually check nor show you. Historically, most nations, their biggest trading partners are their neighbors, if they have the capability to provide products and services they're looking for. And there's other reasons that occurs for tax reasons, cheaper labor. Yeah. Again, Mexico, Canada, neighbors of the United States, two largest trading partners. Mexican peso, the low 2021, the low of 2025. Mexican peso gaining strength against the US dollar. We pay more for imports. Here's the high 2024. Currently, inside candle for the week. Last week made a new high for the year against the Mexican peso. Opportunities to invest in currencies. Chinese yuan. Now we're looking at the currency on a different financial exchange called the Forex exchange. Forex exchange is just an exchange for currencies. Forex exchange for symbols, they have 3 letters representing each currency. So first 3 letters, US dollar symbol with a forward slash. The second three-letter pair is the Chinese yuan. So again, because the first is the US dollar, that represents when the price is going up here, stronger dollar. Reverse, when this declines, weaker dollar, stronger yuan. Yeah. They chose to do the inverse than the currency market in the futures market. Many people have misinformed, posted this, even mainstream media have included this without explaining it and misinforming their viewers. Again, that's mainstream media, has high advertisement dollars, and they don't own up. So again, what I just showed you, many media are misrepresenting because they don't know the difference of different financial exchanges, how they're structured. So again, most of these currencies I'm showing you are in the CME futures exchange, as well as the Forex exchange. There are different exchanges that list currencies, and they show them differently. That's the way they choose their business models. So again, we have the high last year of the US dollar against the Chinese yuan, and then we have the dollar since then declining against the Chinese yuan. And this week, we made a new low for the year. So again, the Chinese yuan gaining more strength against the US dollar. We are paying more for imports. Some of it is due to tariffs. Some of it is due to the decline in our dollar. But majority of our products, services are coming from countries where our dollar is declining. And not a currency. Nope. Crypto, Bitcoin, 5-year chart weekly. Here's the low in the bottom. Here's the high of last year. A lot of pump. And since last year, from that all-time high, it's been in decline. Huge trading range on the downside. Markdown. Here's the high this year, which was, again, we had the end of last year, a lot of pumping into the high this year, into this imbalanced area, red zone. Huge sell-off, and it's declined. We already broke the low of last week. We are trading below the lows of last year. Yep, weakness. We'll take this now to the daily chart, sorry. Same thing, the majority of the currencies, but we'll look at them on the lower time frame. The daily. This is a 1-year chart, daily candles. Again, futures market, they've been trading since last night. Where the stock market, you got to wait till 9:30 a.m. New York time. Other exchanges, such as I'm showing you here, the euro. 1-year chart. Open since last night. High of the year, low of the year. Buyers stepped in here. Consolidation phase. We might have a slow grind down. Setups, key levels, buying opportunities. Japanese yen, 1 year chart. Here's the high of 2025. That was the last year. The low of this year, the high this year. These yellow horizontal line. Zoom in. See this orange vertical line? Japan had elections. Leadership changed. Big green candle, huge reversal. Again, the high of the year. Pull back into a key level. Balance area. Elections, strong green candle, strong impulse move up. Took off like a rocket ship. That high, that low. I made a Fibonacci. This tool is a Fibonacci. Setup. We had that pullback, deep retracement, broke below 0.618, which is the Fibonacci number. But when we broke below it, we made a minor reversal. Zoom in some more. Minor reversal after this red candle, which I already had this impulse move down, that red candle labeled midpoint. That was a setup. We formed a bearish pin bar there, a bearish stop hunt, reversed. So again, when we test that red candle, test that blue line, this Fibonacci was no longer valid. But what that tells me is the probability is, because we did a deep retracement of the high of that green candle, deep retracement to a 0.618, the probability is less likely that we're going to break above here, that high, and that as we grind up, looking for opportunities for bearish setups. Here is a bearish setup. So it worked out fine. We didn't have a full retracement up here. Nope, we had a reversal. Let me remove this tool. And look at that. Setup. Stop hunt, bearish stop hunt, huge sell-off. Green candle, big green candle, midpoint labeled, and currently trading below that. So again, opportunity prior to taking gains into profits, and could have traded bearish. This is one time frame. There are other time frames. There are bullish setups. So again, this is just part of the picture. I showed you higher time frames. But again, the daily chart, we have a demand zone here, opportunities, and a swing point here, opportunities that might become reversals. British pound, again, daily chart, self-explanatory. Low of the year, high of the year. Big sell-off. Did my Fibonacci tool. Inside candle, made a reversal. Look at this, consolidation. So I'm keeping the Fibonacci on here until I get more clarification. But right now, consolidation, the red, yellow candle, breakout, consolidation, green, white, inside. White means open and close, same price. Currently inside candle, trending up. So have a higher probability. If we break the high of that prior day candle, we'll continue the momentum up. Australian dollar. Already broke the high of yesterday. Canadian dollar broke the high of yesterday. The Swiss franc. I shared this several weeks ago. After it came off the high, the Swiss franc, we did a retracement. Red candle, we had a consolidation there. So when we had those inside candles, I drew those after those inside candles. So when that red candle came, I drew the wedge, those white lines right there. That was a wedge. In that wedge is a coil, tighter, tighter, tighter. Didn't know which way it was going to break out, but I said when it breaks out, it'll likely break out in strength. We had a strong breakout, that big green candle, strong green candle, strong to the upside, used a lot of energy, forming a bearish pin bar after that. So again, a lot of energy, expected to retrace. It retraced our weakness. Let me remove this. Oops. Yep, so retraced, midpoint of that big green candle, had some consolidation. But this strong bullish candle, that was a key level. So I'm going to remove these white lines because they're no longer valid. They're referred to as trend lines. And this is the key level. Be looking for a bullish opportunity. So we have a lot of consolidation, buyers stepping in here. But again, we haven't made a strong reversal yet. So use caution. You can have a deeper retracement even down here or some of these other areas. Mexican peso, so strong here. Look at that. Wow. Spending a lot of time here, building energy at the high, chipping away, have a higher probability to continue going higher. Again, the more times it hits support and resistance, higher probability it may break over or under those. We already broke the high of yesterday. And the Chinese yuan, again, US dollar, new low for the year since last night. Yep, last night, the Chinese yuan broke that low, making a new inverse low for the US dollar. New low for US dollar against the Chinese yuan. Your products and services are costing more from these countries. Bitcoin, daily chart. Yeah. Broke the high of yesterday and a slow grind down. Current situation. So I extend the invitation for you to become a Patreon member. Here's the link, as well as in the video at the bottom. Thank you as always, spending just a little time with me. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching.